Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome Siavash M Alamouti. Also, can we have a round of applause for Dr. Debarag Banerjee on the stage?
While Siavash is getting mic'd up, so here I go back to the time at Intel. Alamouti code, by the way, is the reason why your phone works faster than it used to during the 3G days. One of the first time somebody showed that things can go faster on two antennas, and it is so lovely to see him back in India.
All
So,
right.
Siavash.
Thank you, Dr.
Welcome,
Banerjee.
man.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Good morning. I was here last in India in 2009. Unlike Stephen, I haven't had the opportunity to come and visit every year. And at that time, between 2005 and 2009, I was here to evangelize a technology called mobile WiMAX, which was supposed to be the extension of Wi-Fi into cellular, starting from personal area networks to local area networks to wide area networks, and combining all of that to provide an open technology. So starting local, distributed on the network side. And now today, I'm here to evangelize something similar to you, because we were listening to the talk this morning. Mr. Subramanian was saying, oh, trillions of dollars a data center spend, right? Peter Norvig was talking about the massive amounts of compute that is required to do things, and the enterprises are failing with the LLMs. And I'm here to again highlight that you end up in these situations when you separate the network capacity from compute capacity, from the needs of the individuals and enterprises to provide the technology. You have to consider all of that. Today, when you look at the situation with the LLMs and the networks, we don't have that many agents. We just have the LLMs. We have maybe a few 100,000 autonomous vehicles that are spending 4 terabytes. And now we're being told that there's going to be hundreds of millions of autonomous vehicles. There's going to be 20 billion agents. The question is, where is the network capacity for this? And I did some calculations, rough calculations, about 10 years ago, and realized that the entire world network capacity of wired and wireless networks would only support millions of these robots and autonomous vehicles. So we would need 10,000 times, 100 times the capacity on the networks, let alone the GPUs and CPUs and all of that. Assume that we're going to have all of that compute. The networks wouldn't be able to support that. And then I also went for a couple of years as EVP of R&D to Wells Fargo. I started looking at banking applications because it was, finance and financial well-being is one of the most important things. So it was my passion to use the technology to apply it to banking. So I'm summarizing today what I think we should do and what is the core technologies and architecture that is going to actually fulfill the promise. So when you look at in the last decade, we've been using mobile apps to make the lives of our people better. Whether it's on the health or finance, these applications have been fantastic. But it's a maze of applications. They're fragmented. And although they have helped our lives, but they have also created a lot of anxiety. We have one app for banking, we have one app for credit, we have another app for insurance. It was interesting when I was at Wells Fargo, and before I joined, I thought the bank had a view of your 360 financial life. I didn't know each one of these was products, and the teams were not talking, and there was no 360 view of the customer. And it just astounded me. How can you actually manage and help people's financial lives where you're completely blind as to how they use these services? And that's why we have this friction between the financial institutions and their customers. So the problem that we need to solve is really to bring that 360 view for the customer and try to remove that anxiety. For customers, it means that you need a personal financial advisor. And personal financial advisors currently is for the rich. Very few people have that. And as Steven suggested, for an advisor to be able to advise you properly, they need access to your financial life. There's a problem with privacy. I don't want my financial advisor necessarily know everything that I do. Maybe I don't want him to know that I have pre-cancer conditions and I have to save $50,000. How do we bring this 360 view to the financial situation and then provide the right nudges, the right advice to our customers? For the enterprise, the meaning of this is that we have these siloed products, and now we're losing, maybe we are addressing 20% of the needs of the customers. We are throwing revenues down the drain. We have all the data, but as Steve very eloquently suggested, we don't know what to do with it. This data is fragmented, most of it is unusable, and we don't have a view to it. So AI agents are going to change this game, and they are the answer. And I'll try to explain how that model would work. Just imagine that you have an AI agent, not in the cloud, that is managed by somebody else, but in your smartphone. It has access to everything that you do, sees everything that you do, is fully trustable, is based on a zero-trust architecture. It looks at your spending, it looks at your needs, talks to you as to what your goals are. I want to save money for my kids' tuition by 2030. Gets all of that information. Oh, I need a cataract surgery in 6 months. It's going to cost a few $1,000s. It knows all of that, and then it can provide you with nudges. And then on the institution side, there are agents that can accelerate underwriting, getting the approvals, appraisals, and all of that. The key is that that agent needs to have persistent memory and needs to know every transaction that you're doing and all the important goals in your life, right? So, can we do this with the LLMs? No. Why not? Because LLMs, by nature, they have short memory, they hallucinate, right? Not that you can't give them long memory. Of course, you can give a big database to an LLM and keep a long memory, but it's going to cost hundreds, thousands of dollars per year in token costs for you to do that. So that's completely impractical. So what is the solution? Is agents that are specialized in various things. And it's not a single agent. It's not a single financial advisor. It's an agent that knows only about credit cards. There's an agent that knows about banking for savings, for education. There's an agent that only specializes in mortgage. You're going to have all of these agents. It's an agent that looks after your wellness. It has your biometric data from your Fitbit and all of that, and it's giving you nudges. Right? And then you have your own personal agent that trains and learns across all of these domains to make sure that your financial goals, your health goals, your education goals are all aligning with each other. So this requires that you're going to have a persistent memory and data across all of these things. And one of the biggest problems with this is data privacy, because when you say that, so well, I'm not going to share all of this information with Microsoft, Google, you know, OpenAI, this and that. These agents need to work for myself. So that's the architecture that we need to consider. And the other important thing is that this has to be a two-agent network. It can't be just a consumer agent and a banking agent that are not connected. In order to bring speed to financial transactions, you have agents that understand your needs. They need to be able to communicate that to the agents in the institutions and close the transactions fast. And I'll give you an example afterwards. And there has to be a firewall between a consumer data and the institutions in order for it to be trust, because trust is fundamental to get this model working. So what is this? This is a technical track, so I'm not going to get in too much detail, but I give you a very high-level view of what we've been doing in the last 10 years, since 2014, to address this problem. First of all, we had to ensure privacy of data. So the workflows of managing this data, we figured that needs to be on people's devices, on their smartphones, on the drone, on the robot, right? On the manufacturing arm, whatever, on your car. So you see that picture? There's a camera, it's a wearable. It has an operating system. So we created a layer on top of the operating system, which we call Mimik, or the Mimik operating environment. And there you can run microservices with APIs, right? Because one of the biggest issues is that you have a 24/7 agent running on your phone. If it's a monolith, your battery is going to drain in an hour. It's constantly loading stuff into memory. So it has to be something that, through an API, calls a microservice. And then on top of that, you have all the tools that you typically get from cloud providers in terms of observability and all the platform as a service optimization tools that there are right on top of that environment. And then microservices and agents will run at a layer on top. And then the application is above that. We currently have models, for instance, for intelligent spaces, models for AI agent model providers so that they can build their agents on top with the tools and microservices that are below them. And all of this is independent of the OS, right? And also, of course, we're not going to do without the cloud. The cloud is absolutely needed because you need a global view. You need to sync up your data, perhaps store it in a place, in a safe, secure vault. You need a data vault locally on your device so it can be real-time accessed. It's not acceptable for the agent to be able to turn off. The agents need to mimic human behavior, just like us. If I'm not dependent on my mother anymore, I'm an adult. I don't have to depend as an agent on the cloud to do everything. I can depend on the cloud when I absolutely need it. When I need more compute, when I need to learn new things and get updated, the agent needs to go to the cloud and say, okay, what are the changes in rules on mortgage approvals so I can help my master to apply for a loan from L&T Finance. What is the latest requirements for that so I can fill out this form and apply? That's what the cloud should be used for, not for 24/7 operations. And the only way you're going to manage financial lives of people is with a 360 view and a 24/7 view to what they do. A lot is not described here because it's hard for me to give you the entire view of the architecture. But these agents, and the one thing that you've got to look at, that these agents should be able to discover each other and talk to each other. So there has to be, for instance, an MCP server right there. The MCP server cannot be in the cloud. There has to be perhaps even a local LLM for natural language processing and all of that, so that you can talk to your agent. So we've integrated all of this, and now we've applied it into multiple sectors to try to provide that. And we call this device-first continuum AI, meaning everything starts where the data has the context. Stephen talked about the data coming to the data lakes. The data is the product, as he suggested. And the most valuable data sits right on the smart devices, on the smartphones, on the drones, on the robots, on the manufacturing arms. And there's no reason for you to have to send all of this data up to the cloud before you get any insight, right? Should be able to process as much as possible. And then there are issues around, you can't have, for instance, firewalls. Recently, you can go on my LinkedIn page. We had a meeting in Saudi Arabia in a health conference, and people from the IT were coming, so this thing is not going to work. I'm going to have to put firewalls on everything. So what firewalls? You have to have a zero trust architecture. Everything has to be authenticated. Every transaction has to be authenticated. Every transaction has to be encrypted so that your data remains safe. And then people ask, oh, well, can a phone really do that? The good news is 0.1 to 1% addition to the CPU usage to actually process and consume the data, as opposed to send it with RF and other technologies outside. So yes, this all can be done. It's not a science fiction. Now let's talk about some use cases. For instance, the home loan journey with cloud AI. If you do this with an LLM, just assume customer mentions, oh, I have plans to buy a home. And then 3 months later, you come back to the LLM. It seems like you've lost your mustache in the process. And then the LLM tells you, what home buying thing? Don't recall that conversation. Then you load up 5 years of transaction history. It probably costs you, 30, 40 rupees. Costs the bank, costs the institution 30, 40 rupees to upload and process that. And So you get an experience of high cost, poor experience, right? And there's really no relationship. This is a transactional relationship. If you do this with a device first, you talk to your agent. After 3 months, the agent is remembering it and say, hey, for you to apply for this loan, you now have saved 3.2 lakhs for your 10 lakhs goal. And then after 6 months, it tells you, oh, now you can meet the requirements. I've checked all your finances. I can prepare. Should I share this data with the bank? And then you get your approval. And on the institution side, everything from underwriting to pre-approvals, qualifications, and all of that can be done with an agent that talks to your agent. They can discover each other, they can talk to each other, and close the transaction very quickly. So the business case for this is very obvious. Let's talk numbers. And I did some of these numbers. You can also go talk to Cloud, Gemini, and all of that. Go through the same exercise and see what it would cost to have a 24/7 agent on your phone. If you want to do this with the LLMs, hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on how engaged your customer is with the platform. On device, zero infrastructure cost. Zero. You're using the compute resources of the smartphone and nothing else. No additional infrastructure required. Then you have revenue multiplication. Why? Because you know real time the exact needs of your customer and you can respond very quickly. Doesn't take a month to get an approval for a loan. Things can be done in a day or two very quickly. The enterprise agents help close the deal faster. The customer agents identify and say, oh, you need this new product. And L&T Finance, whatever bank, has the solution for you. I can prepare all the documentation. You don't have to go and look for, I don't know, statements, this and that. I have all of that information. I combine it. I understand what the rules are to apply, and I'll submit it. All you have to say, submit, and I submit. And this is all based on trust, because you know the information that you're providing to your agent is safe and secure. Only the absolute essential information is shared, right? And you also know and see that your financial institution can quickly respond to your needs. So the business case is absolutely clear. And so how do you do this? This is a two-agent network. The way I would go about this is first to start with a simple thing like a savings goal for a loan pre-qualification. Build this trust through this permission-based data sharing by asking the customer, here's your agent. We're not in your data plane. This agent is working for you. You can share whatever you want securely with them. We don't see that. And then on your side, you build your own agents to automate underwriting and risk assessment. And this way, I'm not saying remove your bankers. The human in the loop is absolutely essential. Chatbot experience proved this. And one of the frustrations I had when I was at Wells Fargo is that when we were working on AI, I was EVP of R&D, and I was being told, build a chatbot. I said, well, chatbot creates nothing but friction. My personal experience with chatbot has always been screaming at the chatbot, saying, connect me to a human. The human touch is absolutely essential. But what we need is to remove all the obstacles for the bankers to be able to approve things and accelerate things, and also be able to provide the information that you need faster. This way you turn the banker into a superhuman, because they never make mistakes, because the agent is there to look at them, seldom makes mistake, maybe never is not the right word. They understand your data better. And so you build the consumer agent, you build the enterprise agent, and then you connect these networks. So there is a way for the consumer to share that data and close the transaction. The most important thing about this, that this is a partnership future. It's not about replacing humans. We've gone through that path before, you know, and we shouldn't make that mistake again. It's about providing the insights that are needed in order to be able to provide the right level of service. Agents succeed because they enhance human relationships. They don't replace human relationships. If you aim to do that, you're sure to fail. This is a path to sustainable growth and a new era of trust, and trust is the key to success in a relationship with your customers. And this is not something that is going to happen in the future. It's happening now. The issue is whether you will lead or you would follow. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Alamouti, for that wonderful session and great insights. I request you to please wait back.
Sure.
May I now request, ladies and gentlemen, the Chief AI and Data Officer, L&T Finance, put your hands together for Dr. Debarag Banerjee to come on the stage and present.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Questions?
Do we have any questions? We have a question here. Can we have a mic passed on?
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, no, it's okay. The what?
All right.
Oh, okay. Picture.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
The mic being passed to the gentleman there. We can take one question.
This is Rachana. Could you please shed a light on SLM, small language model orchestration, and how it will be better than LLM and in context of agentic AI,
All
and
right.
where we are going?
All right, wonderful, wonderful. So single language models, if they are monolithic and they're running on your device, they would drain battery. It depends on the architecture you use. If you build it microservice-based, it's modular, fantastic. And that's actually what really an agent is. Now, when it comes to orchestration, it's very interesting. Because just imagine, try to orchestrate a Bollywood dance. Not possible, right? Life is not like a symphony orchestra. It's very unpredictable. Things change really fast. So you have to get orchestration out of your mind and think about choreography to be able to deal with situations that are real-time changing and are completely fluid. Not that you don't need orchestration anymore. There's certain things, you know, for shopping, putting something in a cart, you know the process. You can orchestrate these things, right? But you can't orchestrate the financial needs of someone. Someone may be in need of credit tomorrow. They have an emergency. You need to be able to, your agents need to be able to choreograph as opposed to orchestrate. This is even more pronounced, obviously, for things like drones and robots. How can you, for instance, in a manufacturing floor, orchestrate the robot? You have to have 1 million edge cases, rule-based, to say if you're walking and you see oil, do this, if you see water, do that. And it's not possible to orchestrate these things. You have to have that intelligence to be able to choreograph.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Alamouti.
Okay.
Let's have a round of applause for Mr. Alamouti for that wonderful session
you.
and that
Thank you
question
very
answer.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.